Hello. In this business finance lecture, let's go over study problem 2-9 in page 48 from the 8th edition of our textbook. Here's a view of the problem. So, we are given that a 20-year treasury bond has a nominal interest rate of 5.1%, while some other 20-year corporate bond is currently yielding to 9.1%. That would be the nominal interest rate for that corporate bond. Assuming that both securities have equal maturity risk premiums and that the liquidity risk premium is 0.25% for the corporate bond and only 0% for the treasury bond, obviously the treasury bond is issued by the US government and as such will not have any liquidity risk premium, what would be the default risk premium for the corporate bond? Okay, let's begin by recalling the formula for nominal interest rate. The nominal interest rate is equal to real risk-free interest rate plus the inflation risk premium plus the default risk premium plus the maturity premium and finally the liquidity premium. Now, this formula applies to both the treasury bond and the corporate bond. Let's first apply to the treasury bond. So for the treasury bond, the 20-year treasury bond, the formula will be used as follows. So we are already given that the nominal interest rate is 5.1% for the treasury bond. That is equal to the real risk-free interest rate is not given in the problem, so we will just leave it as it is. The inflation premium is also missing in the problem, so we'll also leave it as it is. Plus the default risk premium is assumed to be 0 for the treasury bond. The maturity premium is not given, but we know that it is the same for both companies. So let me just write 20 here to represent that this security, the treasury bond, is a 20-year bond. Plus, finally, we have our liquidity premium, which turns out to be 0 for the treasury bond. So, rearranging this equation nicely, this implies or let me just rearrange the right hand side only. So the real risk-free interest rate plus the inflation premium plus the maturity premium for that 20-year corporate bond, treasury bond. So those three add up to give 5.1%. Now let's go back and apply this initial formula to the 20-year corporate bond. Now for the 20-year corporate bond, the formula will give us, so first of all, the nominal interest rate for the corporate bond is 9.1%, and that's equal to the real risk-free interest rate plus inflation premium plus the default risk premium is basically the question. So the question is particularly asking for the default risk premium for our corporate bond plus the maturity premium, but recall the maturity premium is the same for the corporate bond as it is for the treasury bond. So it's given in the problem, obviously, that the maturity premiums on both securities is equal. And finally, the liquidity premium is given as a 0.25% for the corporate bond. Now, what is surprising is that we get the same expression here. Look at let's first focus on the real interest rate. Let me actually highlight this one. Okay, so let's focus on the real risk-free interest rates. These two numbers are the same. Similarly, the inflation risk premium. These two numbers are also the same. And finally, the maturity premium is also the same. So therefore, in our formula, I will replace real interest the real risk-free interest rate plus the inflation risk premium plus the maturity premium with a 5.1%. So therefore, in the second line, so as we continue making our calculation, we just realize that. So I will replace this plus this plus this with a 5.1%, and all that is left on the right hand side is the default risk premium and the remaining 0.25%. So moving things around and solving this equation, we realize that the default risk premium is simply equal to 9.1% minus 5.1% minus 0.25%. And making this calculation, we find the answer to be 3.75%. So that would be the default risk premium of the 20-year corporate bond. So that solves our problem.